four areas on a headland which runs right into the sea. And it's just a tiny little peninsula, accidentally found about 4 years ago. Somebody crashing through the bush, and something landed behind her. So we really have a colony of perhaps with four sites that we do observe with cameras. We know there are a number of other sites, but we just can't get to see them. What does amaze us is how inventive these little things are. And they bury under shed floors. They use old pellets that have been thrown into the garden at the back, and the vegetation's grown on them. So we have all these lovely little quirky things. We have built hotels or motels or nesting boxes, but no one's used them. And I'd be really keen to find somebody who could give us a hand on how we could attract our little buddies in, because on our camera observations, we see more than 2 birds coming into our 2 burrows. So we know that there's competition. We know that there are other birds coming in and wanting to occupy, but they're not. And these nesting boxes are really right in front of them, but they don't use them. So we have now been observing these birds on camera for about 3 years, daily. So there's a large number of images available to anyone who's interested. In particular, it'd be nice to catch up with Michael, just to talk about that. I'd love to meet him actually on the site, if that's possible sometime. A few things I'd just like to say, that we're an urban group, and we have all the urban problems. Like not only are we observing the petrels, but we're also observing all the cats and the dogs, and we can name them in particular. That's a photograph there, cats piling in while the birds are there. It's quite stunning. So these are regulars. They're there all the time, year after year. Quite amazing. And then our devious little men that come in, and we catch a lot of rats in that area, using a variety of traps, baiting as well as catching. The pile of other chaps that come around too on occasion. So we're actually catching a lot of information, which is quite interesting over a year. That's an example of the pellet that was thrown on the ground. The vegetation has grown up, and the petrels have just made this lovely nest underneath it. And they come back year after year after year. James Russell and I built a little trapdoor at the back so we can access the chick and bandit. So James is really keen on that. This is horrifying. Turn your eyes away if you don't want to see the result of this, but we felt that this is the reality, of the grim reality of life. And we have never, ever caught it's not a stoat, there we are. Horrendous. That's what happens. Unfortunately. We are looking at the long-term lures that Michael was talking about, the pauku lures that Boffa have bought online. Now we have acquired a small sample of those, so we are going to be setting those up as well. So we're keen to look at stoat, and ferret. That was a ferret on that previous shot. But we have only ever caught 2 stoat in this area. So we don't know the numbers. We don't see them on camera at all. That's a site right underneath a very old dilapidated shed, and that just chugs along. And to the left there now is an example of what we call a rat motel. It's a box with 4 hooded victors. We use a combination of peanut butter and mayonnaise, and we're finding those very successful indeed. We have got the zigzag track further north, up from Park Road down to Titirangi Beach now, and we've got those devices right in, and we're catching a lot of rats with those. Unfortunately, not this one. He seems to be avoiding me, although I'm not sure. I think I might have got him. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. It's just a tiny little piece of land that we work on, but we work on it with a passion. And my great thanks goes out to David, my co-worker, who provides me with all the backup of IT and the data, and he's a strength in himself. Thank you very much.